Guys, I saw this video and I was like, "What's this about? What's you on about today, Ron?" I just did another reaction for another one of Ron's videos, talking about Canadians leaving. Damn, this one got me. Ron, you got me with this one, man. I really don't like to see this stuff, guys. I don't like to see it. If you don't recognize me, my name is Alex. I run an AI agency in Toronto. We're trying to cover what's going on with Canada, AI adoption, real estate, jobs. But this one, man, today's an emotional one for me. I just did coming off food banks, people not being able to afford food. Now we got a story coming out of Brampton where people have died because there were too many of them crammed into an illegal housing units or space or whatever is going on there, where there's too many people in the goddamn house. House fires got them, and I don't care where they're from, immigrant, Canadian. I don't give a shit, guys. They're human beings. They're past now. So we gotta pay a little bit more attention to what's going on. I'm hoping we can have at least that sort of takeaway here. This YouTube stuff's getting to me, guys. Holy shit. Let's get into it. I was wrong covering this one. Damn.
Talk about this horrible tragedy in Brampton, which is a suburb just the northwest of Toronto. Like it's a legitimate tragedy. I mean, 3 people lost their lives, and it's awful. The most important thing that I got to start off with is this is an illegal rooming house. Wasn't student housing. It was a rooming house for temp workers, and it's not just Brampton. It happened in Brampton, but I'm going to tell you straight up: don't pile on that community. Don't infer things that aren't true. I can show you rooming houses, illegal rooming houses, in every single part of the GTA. All of it. I can show you rooming houses downtown. I'll show you rooming houses in Scarborough. I'll show you rooming houses in Oshawa. I'll show you illegal rooming houses in Etobicoke, Burlington, you name it. I can show you illegal rooming houses all over the place. And the simple reason we have them is because of the old Liberal government's completely batshit crazy, utterly stupid, and incredible failure, biggest policy failure in 50 years, of decided to bring in over 1 million people a year.
And that's the bottom line, guys. That's the bottom line. And it's so funny. You don't hear the government coming out and saying, "Hey, guys, we made a mistake. We brought too many people into the country. It stressed out our real estate industry. It stressed out our labor market. Hell, it's stressing out the goddamn food banks. We have more people going to food banks in the last year than in the history of Canada." If that's not telling you guys, people dying in rooming houses, like over cramped conditions, this is third world shit, guys.
For 2.5 years. Like, that's the reason. It's not on any community. It's the idiotic approach to immigration. There's simply no place to put people, and therefore these rooming houses blew up, and they're everywhere. Now, what's the story behind it? This is a very small property. This is a semi-detached, about, I'm guessing it's 1,800 square feet, 12 people in it. Now, when people do this rooming house thing, sometimes you just throw futons on the floor for the students, but that doesn't really work for temp workers. Some of these temp workers are going to plan on being here for a while. So they end up reshuffling the rooms, changing the room layout in a dangerous way. And they have people living in a basement, which in many cases does not have a separate entrance or a separate exit. And by chopping up the rooms, by adding rooms by repartitioning areas that were never meant to be that way, all completely illegally, utterly illegally. There's no permits, no nothing. They are creating fire traps. They are creating tremendous dangers for the people who live there. But the people who live there are just trying to get by. By the way, a temp worker isn't a refugee. They're not a foreign student who stayed past their graduation limit. They're entitled to be in Canada. Like, they are. So the idea that the people there are doing anything wrong is crazy. Let me tell you who's doing something wrong.
Landlords.
The greedy dirtbag son of a bitch should be taken out and pissed on. Landlords are the ones. Those are the ones. And they are bad people. They are greedy, ruthless bastards. And they all should be arrested. Every single one of them. But
so, Ron's probably had his day with more than one bad landlord, and he's older, he's dealing with real estate, stuff like that. Guys, we're dealing with people who figured out how to make money passively on a month-to-month basis, putting together very, very piss poor living conditions for people to pay rent. It's the bottom line. It's the bottom line. And the amount of time that's passed for these people making this money, they're not going to change. They're just too used to it. So, and I don't know any bad landlords, but I know of bad landlords and how bad they can be. And it's, not a surprise that they do exist in Canada, given how torrential our economy is in the marketplace for real estate. But when people start dying, you really got to take a step back from all the rate talks and housing prices, all that shit. It's whatever. People are literally dying, guys. And I was sort of on the fence about covering this one because I'm not trying to. I don't want to be the guy who gets views and clicks and likes for talking about this sort of stuff. But I really do feel like the more people that know about this stuff going on, the more we can sort of take a step back and be like, hey, there's a serious problem in Canada going on right now. How did it start? How do we fix it now? Like I at the agency here, whenever a problem comes up, we always try and isolate, dissect. Where's the problem coming from? How do we amputate where the problem is coming from now? Guys, the RICO just took over, or the Ontario government just took over RICO, the Real Estate Council of Ontario. I think that and a lot of these rooming houses for temporary foreign workers, immigrants, stuff like that, this stuff is breaking the confidence in Canada's real estate market, guys. Like, I would never dream of even being part of a situation where people died because of the place I rented them was inadequate for basic living standards. You're not too many steps away from manslaughter when you're doing stuff like this, guys. I don't even know if I can say these words on YouTube. Can I say these words on YouTube?
But why aren't they? Like, why is this even going on? Why are there illegal rooming houses that are creating death traps scattered all over the GTA? And we know they exist. Like, there is no question that every bylaw officers know where these places are. They could take you to the door. They could drive you down the street and go to door after door after door, and they will be illegal rooming houses. I believe even the mayor of Brampton, that dipshit Patrick Brown, even said that, oh yeah, there's been reports out of that place. Well, if there's reports, why wasn't it stopped? Like, I'll tell you why it's not stopped. And it's not just Brampton, although he is a dipshit. It's everywhere. The councils, the mayor's office, the bylaw bosses, not the bylaw officers who go out and recognize that this is a deadly death trap every time they go into these places. And they can find them and they can bring in fire. They can bring in the fire department. The fire department's got a lot of power. They can levy a ton of fines. But the council, the mayor's office, all of the actual bosses at bylaw. Oh, don't go too wild, they tell the bylaw officers. Don't go too wild. If we displace all these people in all these rooming houses, we got a big problem on our hands, which is the fucking political idiocy of our age, of our time in Canada, okay? That instead of just following the rules, being a serious goddamn country where you can't operate death trap illegal boarding houses, when you're not allowed to do that, when we catch you, we fine you, the people have to go because it's deadly. No, let's not shit rock the boat, okay? In a serious country, first of all, in a serious country, you don't bring in 1.2 million people a year for 2.5 years. That's another thing. That's one thing. In a serious country, you enforce rules, and you then discover that landlords come to realize they can't get away with it. There's no point in doing it. Because if you just don't rock the boat and let it go, landlords, dirty bastards that they are, these rooming house bastards, just think, well, let's do some more. They've gotten away with it so far. Yeah, that's an unserious country. That's where rules aren't really, they're just malleable. We'll just shape them ourselves, okay? You end up with innocent, dead people because they were trapped in a place where there was no proper exits for a fire. And that's the reality. So that's the key. Stupid policies, unserious government, and a history for the last 15 years of batshit crazy house prices that mean that it's impossible even just to get a decent, reasonably priced rental accommodation for a family. Because these are temp workers, they're working, okay? If there was rational rents to be had, they could probably find them. But even though rents are falling, we blew past rational rents a long time ago in Southern Ontario. Yeah. You know, people think, well, Ron, why are you always blaming the government? Because it's the goddamn government's fault. Because they could have stopped this and they didn't. That's why I go after the government.
So I can tell you right now, this is a good freeze frame for you, Ron. Guys, I don't know how much more of this YouTube stuff I can do, man. This kid's killing me. What do you guys think about these rooming houses that have just infested Ontario because of the mass immigration and the predatory rental environments? What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comments, because what I think is we are careening off the cliff of sanity when it comes to real estate in this country, guys. We have iPro Realty stealing $8 million from investors, their own real estate people. We have Rico getting taken over by the government because they're not properly governing real estate in Ontario. They're the Real Estate Council of Ontario. They're not doing it properly. We have housing prices plummeting because the sentiment or confidence behind purchasing a home in Ontario and Canada in general is shattered. We have a fraying job market that is seeing Canadian businesses not hiring at all. And if they are looking for more productivity and efficiency, they're looking at AI. The situation is getting difficult, guys. And I personally believe we're approaching a breakaway point where people are just going to start crashing out. Like to read 3 people dead, or just to hear 3 people dead in Brampton because they couldn't escape a fire from an illegal rooming house. Guys, we have to do better. This is pathetic to me. And obviously, I'm going to let Ron, be the emotional one here. We still gotta get more followers. I can't be crashing out too hard on YouTube, but I don't care where you're from. I don't care where you're from, what you think about immigrants or what you like. They're people, guys. They're human beings. They're dying in Canada, in Brampton, because of stupid reasons. They don't have a fire exit. So, damn. Anyways, guys, I think this might be my last one for the day. I am emotionally gassed and sentimentally trashed after a couple of these videos because if this stuff doesn't make you pissed off of where you live, like this to me is a reflection of the quality of our country and the people who govern it. We're not doing a good job when we have people coming here and dying, guys. Well, we trudge on. The war machine must continue. Damn. If you like this type of content, guys, I honestly, if your heartstrings were tugged or you felt something anyway, like it. If you feel like this is bad, you don't like it, dislike it, just engage how you feel. Comment how you feel. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with the other people in the comments. Like we gotta have honest conversations about this stuff, guys. This is pathetic. People are dying in these little shitty houses that people are cramming 15, 20 people into. It's anyways, I'm looking forward to the next one, a positive one. Bye now.